Welcome everyone to the historic episode of the Chris Perish podcast, where yes, we start year 2, episode 53. And as you can see, we got some extra company on the screen, as not in terms of a human being, but in terms of a new sponsor. That is right, official as of yesterday. We're Survivor Series. We capped it off. beercadewhyte is now an official sponsor of the Chris Perish podcast. And you can make sure you go check out Beercade on all the links down below. And if you're local, make sure you're checking out 105 44 82nd. And you can go and check out some amazing fun, including some of their events that we will talk about later, and all of the PLEs that I will be appearing on as well. So yeah, a beautiful partnership. I want to say thank you so much to beercadewhyte for sponsoring the Chris Perish podcast. Looking forward to all the memories that we could share together. Also, if you want to check out the Turnbuckle affiliation program, make sure you go to affiliationprogram.my.canva.site. That's right. You can go and get your introduction to podcasting, and you can do it through Turnbuckle Studios, who the Chris Perish podcast is a partner of, and we can all grow together. And that is a little bit of all right. Just like we have our good friend Chris Best coming in from the YouTube. Saying good afternoon, Mr. Perish. Thank you for being so proper, young lad. And then, yes, if you're on all the platforms, make sure you hit that like, that follow, that subscribe button. If you're on at the YouTube, hit that notification bell button to alert yourself every time that the Chris Perish podcast is live on your screen. And then if you want, if you can, please share out through all your socials, engage, because that helps the channel, and that's a lot more fun for the show as well, because the more people that want to comment politely, I may add, and engage with the podcast just makes a better experience for us all. And that is all, I believe, the housekeeping we need to do. I want to thank everyone like Bobby Batito, who is on Instagram checking us out. So thank you, Bobby, for doing so. Saying good afternoon. Thank you. Unfortunately, Bobby, I cannot post comments on Instagram on here. So if you want to have posted comments, unfortunately, you'll have to go to one of the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitch accounts. Also want to say thank you to everyone watching on X, because we are officially on X, even though that feels a little weird to say. It's true. But what's on the docket tonight? We have a little bit of Survivor Series reviews. We have to review Survivor Series as that took place yesterday. It was an amazing show. I think this show, top to bottom, is a great turning point for where the WWE is turning into kind of that end of 2024 and beginning of 2025. Yes, we had, I believe, 5 amazing matches. That's right. We started with the Women's War Games match with Candice LeRae. We had Nia Jax. We also had Tiffany Strand, Raquel Rodriguez, as well as good old-fashioned Money in the Bank briefcase holder Tiffany Stratton going up against Bayley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and of course, Naomi, who is celebrating her birthday. So I want to wish Naomi a very belated happy birthday from the Chris Perish podcast. I thought everyone did a fantastic job in this match. We saw just about everything you can do in this match. make sure you guys are giving your thoughts in the comments, and I will definitely respond to them. But as Chris Best is coming in, the good old IWC seems to hate the show last night. Well, I mean, it is what it is. That is the world we live in. Unfortunately, the best thing about social media is it gives everybody a voice. And the worst thing about social media is that it gives everybody a voice. But yeah, let's talk about the positives. And that was that we saw Io Sky absolutely hit that beautiful moonsault off the top of the cage with the trash can. And everybody was just elated when they saw that. That is a good old-fashioned spot that you'll see so much. Who, by the way, Io Sky, undefeated in War Game matches. So keeping her streak alive. But, yeah, I want to ask everybody who you thought the standout was in this match. Because I thought, as much as we saw Io Sky kind of, have that big moment in the match, I really thought Rhea Ripley was your standout of this match. It definitely, the whole match seemed to be designed around her and Liv. I thought one of my favorite moments of the match actually took place on a teased cash-in. Carl Carafel, thank you for liking the video on Facebook. I appreciate that. That is another little easy tool that you can do on Facebook, and that is leave an emotion. Please, thumbs up, heart. Anything else would be uncivilized. But yeah, as she sees both Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton just laying on the mat, beat up, she pulls out that Money in the Bank briefcase. And she's not sure which one she's going to cash on, if she's going to even cash in at all, till she sees Raquel Rodriguez asking, what in the green Money in the Bank are you doing? As Tiffany Stratton plays the part of like, oh, no, I was just looking. I'm not ready to buy. And then Io Sky comes in with the fire extinguisher and just sprays the scene down, only for in that little, action, we see Rhea Ripley just handcuff Raquel Rodriguez hands to the ropes as all this fire extinguisher spray is going on. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Bobby coming in on Instagram saying, I appreciate your work. Well, I appreciate you, my friend. But you're also saying it's nice to see Candice LeRae getting more TV time as a singles wrestler. That is right. Also, a little nice Easter egg on her gear. If you guys know, you know. I definitely say go check that out. I'm not going to give you all the answers, but I'm just going to point you in the right direction sometimes. So it's on the interwebs. But yeah, so eventually Rhea Ripley does get the win here. She does hit the Riptide on Liv Morgan on the top rope for the 1, 2, 3, not only securing the win for her team, but also putting her right back in the driver's seat for that championship. We do know that Io Sky and Liv Morgan are set to clash for that championship pretty soon. So you have to think that the Eradicator, aka Mommy, aka Rhea Ripley, is waiting in the wings for whoever wins that match. I'm sure there's a little part of her that wants Liv Morgan to come out champion so she can extract her revenge on not just Liv Morgan, but perhaps Dominic Mysterio and reclaim the gold that she felt she never lost. And then we had an amazing U.S. title match between Shinsuke Nakamura and with everybody saying L.A. Knight. Yeah. And this match I thought was amazing. Really good, just absolute straight up match between these two. We're seeing a lot more viciousness and a lot more intensity out of Shinsuke Nakamura with this new dark character. Let me know what you guys think about his theme. I like it. I think it fits the character, and I love kind of that samurai kind of music. Put it in the background. It's not completely overbearing, but it's a nice little complimentary touch. And I think it just is a beautiful little sweetener to the overall theme song. And it keeps kind of that everything we know about Shinsuke's theme song as it is, it keeps that in place. So it doesn't, again, override anything that we come to love. It's just an added little extra, but it is different. So let me know what you think in the comments. It's Bobby Badita coming in and going, yeah. And this is a match where we saw Shinsuke Nakamura take it to LA Knight in all ways. LA Knight gave it back. Now, I know we talked, or myself, Chris Best, and OMD talked on at the SmackDown Security Detail about a potential maybe DQ win for Shinsuke. We didn't think it was the right time, or maybe if it was time at all, to take the title off. But then the conversation did spice up and saying, well, what about the last time Shinsuke Nakamura did return? And his return seemed to be a little stunted by the loss of Seth Rollins. Bobby Badina coming in and saying, would you like to see Shinsuke Nakamura defend the U.S. title in pro wrestling Noah since he's booked to wrestle there in January? And Bobby, yes, you are right. Shinsuke Nakamura continued his momentum, defeated LA Knight with a Shinkansa to the back of the head, pinned LA Knight, and with everybody saying Final Samurai. And we have a new United States champion. And to Bobby's point, do I want to see it? Yeah, I do. Why? Because I think it's a great symbol of just what WWE is now. They're not a company who just completely tracks their superstars within their product. They do allow them to work elsewhere now. And I think it's a great representation of just how open and willing WWE is to work with other companies. And I do think the more notoriety that Nakamura can have outside, like in Japan especially, but just having that United States Championship present with him and getting the United States Championship kind of out there. I mean, we look how the IWGP does with a lot of their titles, especially with their United States Championship, and how you're able to get the IWGP name across as well as having a title in the kind of in America. So yeah, I think it's a great little idea. So short form. Yeah, I definitely would love to see it. And Chris Best is coming in saying, we have returned to America. I thought I was going to fumble that, but I did not. So I'm quite proud of myself. So we have a new United States champion, and I don't think that these two are finished with each other, but I do think either a Saturday Night's main event or potentially a early New Year type match on a SmackDown could be where we see everything wrap up. This could mean a new direction for LA Knight. This also could be fresh opponents for Shinsuke Nakamura and that United States Championship. LA Knight did a great job as United States champion, so I do want to congratulate him on a successful first run as United States champion. As we have Inspiracool saying, hey, Chris Perish. Hey, Inspiracool. How are you doing? Thanks for checking us out on Instagram Live. Right now, we are reviewing a little bit of Survivor Series. We're talking LA Knight and what you thought his job as his first reign of the United States Championship was. I thought it was a very great run. I'm excited to see kind of where he goes, if he's, going to really chase back that championship, or if this signifies a different opportunity for him, as in maybe a different feud, maybe a different championship. Who knows? I do expect, though, that he is going to stay over for the U.S. title for a little bit, but I do think we're going to see something long term that helps him out. Bobby coming in on the Instagram saying Shinsuke Nakamura versus Santos Escobar or Carmelo Hayes would be nice too. Yeah, I think a lot of the possibilities for Shinsuke is going to be amazing. I just don't know if we're going to see all these heel versus heel matchups. I definitely think that we're going to see maybe something else, whether it's maybe a Jimmy Uso kind of going after the United States Championship. We do have to think about what happens outside of this bloodline stuff. So yeah, we'll get to that after our review because we definitely have some stuff to talk about and cover today. Next, we had the Intercontinental Championship 3-way match and we saw the champion Braun Breaker go up against Ludwig Kaiser and this Celtic Warrior Sheamus in what I thought was probably in the confines of the natural aspect of pro wrestling, the match of the night. In my eyes, I definitely think they came to play. They beat the living tar out of each other. Braun Breaker, I think, really put his stamp on the Intercontinental Championship with his performance here. Inspira Cool says, nice. I only watched half of Survivor Series after I came back from the RCW show last night. That is awesome. How was the show? How was that experience for you? But yeah, the Intercontinental Championship 3-way, I thought all competitors really amped up, really stepped up, and really showcased why they all deserve to be not just a champion, but the Intercontinental Champion. So at the end of the day, we did see Braun Breaker pin Sheamus and retain that championship. And I believe it was Sheamus. I didn't drink that much. Pretty sure it was Sheamus. Could be. Bobby, come on. But yeah, anyway, Braun Breaker at the end of the day retained his Intercontinental Championship, and you might have to think what's next for him. As Bobby coming in saying, I'm interested to see who goes up against Breaker at Saturday night's main event. And that's only if we get an Intercontinental Championship match at main event. I don't necessarily know if we're going to see something there or if we're going to continue to see some more title matches on Raw, and they're going to use their Monday night show as a platform to help kind of develop some stories and kind of use their Intercontinental title, their United States Championship, as a platform of those shows. So it'll be very interesting to see, as you did say. Inspira Cool says it's really awesome been going to the shows for around a decade and other shows as well. Yes, it is. Going to independent wrestling shows or any wrestling show is always a good time. Just like a lot of our good fellow Canadians enjoyed Survivor Series last night, and they enjoyed a banger that included none other than the Celtic Warrior, then Braun Breaker, then Ludwig Kaiser for the Intercontinental Championship. I know a lot of people were a tad, I don't want to say upset, but maybe frustrated that we keep seeing Sheamus in these Intercontinental Championship matches. Everybody talks about how it's the one title that has eluded him in his career, but he doesn't win it. And I think, too, a lot of people have to realize that this is going to happen at some point. There is no need to rush this on a multi-man, a gimmicky match. It's going to have its own real story, and it's going to make Sheamus feel and look like $1 million. So just be patient. Sheamus will be Intercontinental Champion at one point. I promise you, you will have your cake and get to eat it too. Inspira Cool says, right now his favorite wrestler is Tony D'Angelo, the current NXT North American Champion. It's a nice pick. That's a very nice pick there. Love the work he's doing. But yeah, and then kind of staying on the Survivor Series review, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match of Damian Priest challenging, or not Damian Priest, the former World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, going at the current World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, looking to reclaim the championship that he felt was stolen from him by his former stablemate Finn Balor. I like the story and the narrative that this was the first time that Gunther looked nervous, not sure of himself, not completely sure of himself. And I kind of like that. I also like how they said for 78% of his WWE career, he has worn championship gold. Think about that. 78%. And he joined before the pandemic. That is absolutely crazy. He was NXT UK champion for well over a year. He was Intercontinental champion for 666 days. And now he is closing in on the World Heavyweight Championship for almost 200 days. So that's almost. When you look at the historic run that Roman Reigns had as Universal Champion, those same days as champion almost is what Gunther's doing right now. He's almost there. So that's pretty phenomenal. Pretty remarkable, and congratulations to the Ring General. Bobby, you're asking what my thoughts is on Finn Balor being involved in the main event scene on Raw. I love it. As we get back on track, what we saw in this match was an absolute phenomenal match. But when the opportunity struck and Gunther was working on both the shoulder and really the midsection of Gunther, Finn Balor picked his moment up, interfered, and kind of paid dividends to Gunther retaining the championship. Now, Gunther did not appreciate the interference. Now, he saw it. The referee did not. This is why it never got called. So Gunther took a shot at Finn Balor as well. So I like the fact that we're seeing a little bit of pride and a little bit of honesty, honor, we'll say, with that World Heavyweight title from Gunther. However, he is smart enough to understand the situation and take advantage of it. And I think that is what makes him a very dangerous force inside that squared circle. So Gunther then took advantage, got the 1, 2, 3. And then just when we thought we were done with Finn Balor and Damian Priest, well, Finn Balor decides to have a little interview where he gets attacked by Damian Priest backstage, only for that to be a 3-on-1 beatdown of Damian Priest as JD McDonough and Carlito were backstage. Now, interesting to note that Dominic Mysterio, who is a part of Judgment Day, was not present in this beatdown. I do think that's something to take note. Yes, he probably was with Liv. Yes, he probably was doing something else, but he was not there with his stablemates during this beatdown. And I think there is going to be some answers that need to be said. Now, thoughts on Finn Balor being a part of this scene and perhaps going into a potential triple threat? I like it. I want to see Finn Balor kind of in that scene again. However, this is my only gripe. He is currently one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, the World Tag Team Champions on Raw, and that lies a problem I have with the timing. If you're going to do this with Finn Balor, I have no problem. I have no gripe. But as long as he is a tag team champion, I would like to see him and JD focus on the championship and the division that is the tag team division on Raw. And if he's not a tag team champion, then please feel free to do that. I do not like this mixing because I feel the tag team division on Raw is starting to really cook, and they don't need any more setbacks, if you ask me. Because I don't think Finn Balor and JD McDonough have really done much of elevation of this division once becoming tag team champions. Yes, the lack of defending the titles is part of it, but it also feels like the titles are secondary to whatever else they have going on, and I do not like that. Bloomfield Lydia 54 joining us on Instagram. Thank you for joining. We are recapping a little bit of WWE Survivor Series. My name is Chris Perish. This is a Chris Perish podcast, episode 53, the first episode of year 2. So thank you for coming aboard. And if you can, like and follow on the channel, as we'll be appreciative of that. Inspire Cool saying, Carlito, he's cool. Yeah, and after that, we then move on to our men's War Games match. The main event of the night, we saw CM Punk, Jimmy and Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Roman Reigns take on Big Bronson Reed, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa. Bloodline OG versus Bloodline. And this match was filled with interlining storylines, whether or not Roman and CM Punk can coexist, whether or not Jacob Fatu was going to play dividends, whether or not Paul Heyman was going to turn on anyone, whether or not the Bloodline OG can work together to overcome Solo's Bloodline. And we saw all of that. We saw everything come to light. Inspire Cool saying, what is Brock Lesnar doing if he may not come back to WWE? Well, he is being a father to his children. His daughter is really making a name for herself in athletics right now. He also has his own beef jerky line that he does on the side. He hunts. He does whatever Brock Lesnar wants. I'm not going to tell him any different. I'm sure he stays busy. You also are coming in saying the new Bloodline is lame. The original Bloodline is the best. And then Bobby coming in saying it was nice to see Jacob Fatu in the men's War Game match last night at Survivor Series. And that exactly right. I think this match is designed for somebody like Jacob Fatu, as he showed right away how the elements are something he enjoys. And that's a very scary thing. If he is on your team, he ripped through everybody at one point. He was single-handedly responsible for having every member of his opposing team on their back, and it was quite the performance from Jacob Fatu in this match. In fact, he is my MVP of this men's War Games match. But the MVP here wasn't a person, it was the storyline. Whether or not we saw CM Punk, who when he came out in his entrance started to tease and taunt the other members on the other team and through their cage and kind of just really rile them up. Whether it's Roman Reigns and CM Punk, not sure who was going to walk into this shark cage first, whether or not it was going to be CM Punk or Sami Zayn, and Roman Reigns put his arm in front of CM Punk holding one of the side pieces of the door, allowing Sami to go instead of CM Punk. Then when Punk walks past Roman, as Roman is about to leave the cage and enter the match, he walks past him and walks out of the cage first. All these are subtle hints that could these guys trust each other? Could these two trust one another? And then we get into the game match itself. We saw a point where Roman helps up everyone on his team but CM Punk. But then when Jacob Fatu has Roman Reigns light up on a table and he goes all the way up to the top of the War Games cage, who is the guy that pulls Roman Reigns out of the way? That's right. It was CM Punk. And for a brief second, we saw the hand extended to CM Punk from Roman Reigns as a signal of thanks. And let's fight together before they got attacked. But evidently they came together. And they showed unity as the original bloodline took turns hitting super kicks after haluva kicks after go to sleeps after spears, all into Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns pins Solo Sikoa to win the Men's War Games match for his team. Now this comes with a lot of other moments. And it was Big Bronson Reed, not Jacob Fatu. My apologies. I am correcting myself there. We also see Jimmy Uso go up to the cage and splash Jacob Fatu through a table. And we find out that he breaks a toe during that scene. We also know that Bronson Reed was a little banged up. Triple H did say that, he might be out for a week or two, but we'll see. So obviously the War Games match, the War Games structure is something to take serious. All these people, all these competitors, men or women, definitely put their health and their well-being on the line. And nobody is ever the same when they walk out of War Games than how they walk in. So your thoughts? Let me know in the comments your guys' thoughts on not just the men's War Game match, but also Survivor Series as a whole. As what we also saw as well, to kind of close off the show. A lot of people say, well, they posed on the stage for too long. Nothing happened. I need my stuff now. Shut up. This is storytelling. Sometimes not every episode of your favorite show is going to have somebody dying or somebody turning or having this amazing pivot of a storyline. That's why those moments are special, because they're rare and they're important. Sometimes you need a good feeling show. And this was a good feeling show. Paul Heyman was the one who was hugging everyone as they were coming out of War Games. CM Punk, when he did, said, I did this for you. I love you. But when I need you, I'm going to ask for my favor. Because that was the business deal that they made. If CM Punk did this for Paul Heyman has a favor to CM Punk. Now, what is that favor? Roman Reigns asked Paul Heyman on SmackDown. Paul Heyman said, let's just survive War Games, and then we can talk about it. So that is the question coming out of War Games. What is the favor that CM Punk wants from Paul Heyman? So it's going to be very intriguing to see kind of whether it's on Monday, tomorrow, for the Raw Patrol, where Turnbuckle Talk features the Raw Patrol, where everybody's raised the wrestling scene on Monday nights, or whether it's on Friday Night SmackDown, where the SmackDown security detail gets together. And since we're about 36 minutes in, I think this is a great time to kind of let everybody know what is on tap for Turnbuckle Studios. Well, here's a video to let you know.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we get a variety stream with the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the SmackDown security detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Perish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
And that is where you can find all the great programming that is Turnbuckle Studios. And if you want to get part of Turnbuckle Studios, make sure you're following that TAP, that Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, live at affiliationprogram.my.canva.site. And that is what Turnbuckle Studios has on the docket this week. But you know what we're going to see tomorrow? You know what we saw last week on Monday? We're going to see evolution. We're going to see memorable. We're going to see workhorse in the forms of an Intercontinental Championship being unveiled by General Manager Adam Pearce. The women are going to have an opportunity to become Intercontinental Champion, just like the women on SmackDown have an opportunity to become a United States Champion, as we are now set with Bayley, Meechin, Chelsea Green, all advancing. Your thoughts on the Intercontinental Champion for the women? I think it's definitely well-deserved. I am very stoked to see this. If you've seen any of the past episodes and my opinions about the United States Championship, know that I feel the exact same way about the Intercontinental Championship. I think this is an amazing opportunity for the women. I think especially with Raw and SmackDown going to 3 hours, having another mid-card championship for the women makes a lot of sense. There's just now an equal playing field when it comes to championship opportunities, with the exception of only one set of tag titles for the women. But with the depth of the women's division right now in WWE, and I'm sure come 2025, we're going to see more, whether it's from the likes of a signing, whether it's the likes of returns, whether it's the like of call-ups. We're going to see more talent vie for these championships. We're going to see more storylines revolving around these championships. And we're going to see more number one contender matches, which means the titles matter. We're going to see more title matches. We're going to see more graphics. We're going to see a lot more. And I think that is what's important here. Women's Intercontinental Championship, the tournament starts tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Nothing as of right now has come across my eyes. I don't want to say nothing has been put out because I don't know as of this very moment. So with that being a reality for myself, let's talk about who we would like to win or at least compete for this championship. I mostly would love to see somebody different win. When I say somebody different, somebody that hasn't been in the championship scene or maybe in the tag title scene. So I look at I look at women like Lyra Valkyria as a strong candidate. I look at someone like an Natalya Neidhart as a strong candidate. I see somebody like a returning Alexa Bliss as a strong candidate. One of Katana Chance's or Kaden Carter, strong candidate. Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Sonya Deville, strong candidate. Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, all strong candidates. But I think the question is, who do we think is going to walk away the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion? And I'll say, if you're gonna strap the rocket on somebody different, Lyra Valkyria is my pick. Zelina Vega is also a strong candidate as well. But Lyra Valkyria is my pick if you want to go in that direction. I think you need to bring life. I think you need to bring somebody who's willing to fight for this championship, a workhorse, an honorable champion. And Lyra Valkyria showed just that when she was NXT Women's Champion. So if you want a lot of those qualities to surround your Intercontinental Champion, then look no further than Lyra Valkyria in that way. Because she'll always go, she'll always fight, and she'll always do it with class. And I think that resembles and signifies what an Intercontinental Champion is. It's blue collar, right? However, I think if there's one family in the history of the Intercontinental Championship that is almost synonymous together, it's the Hart family. And Natty Neidhart, in my eyes, could be one of the best dark horse winners we ever see in one of these tournaments. Now, I say dark horse in the form of we just don't see a lot of her anymore. We know she's back on Raw. We know that she's re-signed with WWE. But what is she doing that is a part of the storylines? Yes, I know the argument can be made that the women have kind of tailed back on the storylines with Raw going down to 2 hours. But I think Natalya Neidhart as your inaugural Intercontinental Champion feels right. It just feels right. When we talk about honor, when we talk about workhorse, nobody personified that more than Natalya Neidhart. She's been with the company over a decade. She's helped train and help work with almost everyone. Whatever is asked for her to do, she does. She's loyal. She's a great performer and a great ambassador of the WWE. And when we want to talk history, nothing is more historic than the first ever woman to train and to come out of the dungeon to share the same legacy of being Intercontinental Champion with her family and being that inaugural Women's Champion. And then how cool would it be that the first Intercontinental Champion and the first Women's Intercontinental Champion would be Canadian? Just saying. Just put it out. I'm not showing national favoritism here, but I mean, Maple Leaf Hour. So I guess in a perfect world, when I think classic Intercontinental title matches, you definitely go to the 92 Wembley with Brett versus the Bulldog, babyface versus babyface, and he got nothing but just a pure wrestling match. And I think if you have Lyra Valkyria versus Natty in the finals, wherever you decide to do the finals, but you just have a pure wrestling match, and you just have a pure winner. No gimmicks, no distractions, no BS. just pure. I think that shows just what that Intercontinental Championship truly should stand for in the WWE. Let the heels get the heat, but let these baby faces create that historic reputation that the men's title has. So let me know in the comments what you guys and girls think about the Women's Intercontinental Championship, because I am excited. I am very, very intrigued with who the WWE decides to be the first person to wear it, exactly like I am with the United States Championship. Right now, my picks of Chelsea Green for submission in the final, still alive. Still alive, people. And I'm pretty sure I am still 100% on my predictions. So, gotcha, people. I got you. So yeah. Until probably next week, that's when we'll find out, obviously, a lot more information about the championship, who's actually competing for the championship, what the matches were. Are they doing a standard one-on-one tournament? Are they doing the triple threat format for qualifiers or for the quarterfinals? I'm not too sure. So we'll let you know next week on episode 54, which really is going to be something as because man, it's we're near the end of 2024, and it's been one heck of a year, and we are now December 1st, so we got 30 days left. After today, we have 30 days left of this calendar year until we are in 2025, which means, people, we are 7 weeks away from Raw on Netflix. No, that is wrong. We are 5 weeks away from Raw on Netflix. It's early. All right, take that swig of the Rogue Energy, brother. Yeah. No, 5 weeks. See? Instantly, it works. So another piece of news that came across our feeds this past week is that Penta Jr., one half of the Lucha Bros, formerly All Elite Wrestling superstar, pro wrestler, is now a free agent. Now, his brother Ray Phoenix still currently at AEW, not because they have decided to go their own ways, but because AEW tacked time onto Ray Phoenix's contract with the loophole that they have in terms of injury time. It's a standard thing in a lot of companies. People can, say what you want. Say whether or not you think Tony Khan is being petty, whether or not. The way I see it, if you have a loophole to keep a talent with you, and even if you think that maybe the relationship isn't where it is, it's a great way to extend that opportunity to try to, fix it. It can go both ways. It could be looked as petty, but it could also be looked at as an effort by Tony Khan to say, hey, let's try to use this time to kind of just mend our issues and come back to a working relationship. So I don't hate anything here. I'm not going to be that selfish WWE fan and say, hey, let Phoenix out. I want to see the Lucha Bros on my WWE. I'm not going to do that. But I'm just going to ask Tony Khan, if you're going to have Ray Phoenix on your show, can you just use him? Can you just let him cook on there? And then whatever Penta decides to do, whether it's go to WWE, whether it's go back to TNA, as he is a former Impact World Champion, so he could go back there. Whether or not he does a re-sign with AEW, whether or not he goes somewhere else. I think I just want to see him used in a way where he can showcase his ability. Now, we can all have fun here, and we can all think and say, hey, I want to see this person there. I do want to see Penta Jr. in WWE. In fact, I kind of want to see him and Andrade do something. And then if people, you want to talk about a name that could go after Shinsuke Nakamura's United States Championship, Andrade is definitely one of those guys. But here's a thought. If Jacob Fatu is to Solo Sikoa, can Penta Jr. be to Santos Escobar? Or to even Dominic Mysterio? I'm just going to put it out. It's a very intriguing circumstance because I don't think anybody has a true direction in terms of what's going to happen. I think there's just assumptions. Obviously, there's going to be reports out there that are a lot more accurate than what I give you because I am not an accurate source. I am just an accurate point of view. Well, at least I think so. But what do I know? But Penta Jr., WWE makes a lot of sense. He is 39 years old. I'm sure he doesn't want mediocrity in terms of what he wants for the rest of his career. I'm sure he'd want to see if he can do the big time. And I have a feeling come February 1 in Indianapolis at the Royal Rumble, I think Penta Jr. will be a WWE superstar. What do I see him doing? I think I've answered that already. But yeah, I mean, let me know your thoughts. Not my best graphic work coming up, but beercadewhyte does have an event coming up in December. As I'm going to put it up right here. It's going to block me, so 1 second. But it's Frostbite on Sunday, December 15th. It is a burlesque show. They do a lot of interesting activities over at Beercade. So if you want to go check it out in the local Edmonton area, please do so. There is that QR code that you can scan to get more information. As you can hear, what about Ivan as your host, your MC? It's starring a bunch of different people. So make sure that you're checking that out if you can. Tickets are available right now. So go check out that at beercadewhyte. Yes, people, I'm sorry. I have gone a little on the corporate side. When it comes to the Chris Perish podcast, we do have that type of sponsor. They're not forcing me to do this. I want to do this. We're going to have a lot of fun working with each other. And I'm going to say the one thing that I am very, very impressed with is how different this place is from your standard establishments. And I think a difference from an establishment, that's good. But also it's a fun time there for Survivor Series last night, just letting you know that experience there. I mean, one, the setup is fantastic. You get to play video games. You get to play arcade games. My favorite beer is $5. It's fantastic. I had chicken tendies last night. I went full Dominic Mysterio, and it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. The food is phenomenal, and that's just not me saying this because their logo is on the thing. They're good. So yeah, always a fun time when I do go there, and make sure that anytime there is a PLE, to go check that out because that is where I will be watching. So if you want to know, am I going to be around on PLE patrols moving forward? most likely not. That is kind of the unfortunate news about this, is that I will be at Beercade on location during PLEs moving forward, not at the PLE Patrol. Like you can see, good old friends Chris Best and OMD, Bubba Duke, Carl Garfeld, others. Sometimes our good old friend the Bulkster will join every now and then. So that is the unfortunate reality of the situation. But guess what? Frank Sinatra once said, that's life. And we got to move on. Just like we got to move on to the end of the show. I just want to give a shout out to everyone who decided to check out this through the interwebs, whether it's the Instagram Live, whether it's the X account, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. I just want to say thank you so much for coming in. Does that include NXT PLEs? That? Not sure yet. It's a good question, though. It's a good question because I don't even know the answer to that yet. Definitely let you know. And I'll definitely update everyone here because I want to be clear, honest, upfront, and transparent with all of you. Because to be clear, honest, transparent, honest with you, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to do 53 episodes of the Chris Perish podcast without all of you. So, one last time, checking out beercadewhyte. Here are the locations on their socials, on their address. You can check them out on Facebook, check them out on X and on Instagram, where, man, their Instagram pictures are lively. It's a great Instagram to follow. So make sure you're checking that out. And you can also, if you want to just hit up the establishment at some point too. I always say everything's an establishment. I wonder who coined that phrase. But yeah, go check out Beercade. Have a good time when you're there. And if it's a WWE PLE, sometimes maybe even if it's an AEW PLE, you can come and say hi, and we can have some fun together watching and enjoying pro wrestling at its finest. So yeah, please check out that. In the meantime, everyone, I know I always say go Saints, which I'm still going to say go Saints. But in the meantime, everyone, be happy, be healthy, be yourself, because at the end of the day, you matter. Thank you, everyone.
Rip through the clouds, faster, catch us from falling close to